Hey, everybody, it's Matthew Rathbun, and I, a year ago, joined BlueSky, didn't do a whole lot with it, and then just recently, the past week or so, jumped back in there. It's an awesome microblogging platform. It has ticked a lot of boxes for me, and over the past week, I've learned a lot about it. There's a lot of cool hacks and tricks, and also just somebody needed to do a quick rundown of all the different features and how to do things, and this tutorial is for those of you who are just starting out, and there's a couple of things in there for you who maybe have been doing this for a while and want to up your game on your profile. So let's go ahead and jump right in. BlueSky I just love. I love so many of the features and things that I wish were elsewhere that aren't in addition to building audience. And I want to be clear here, this is not a video on how to build 1 million views in 3 days, because I don't have that. I have about 40 people who are following me, and I am following other people, a lot of other people with great content here that I am eager to show you what I've seen and what I've learned thus far as kind of a starter kit and an orientation of the system. So we're going to start with going to bsky.app. bsky.app is how you're going to start your account. The sign up feature is right there in the front page. It's super simple and quick, so I'm not going to walk you through that, but rather what happens after you join. So when, let's just jump in here now, and I'm going to go to my profile. And again, you can see here, I don't have a lot of followers. I only have 43 followers, but I'm being a little bit more careful about this this adventure, because again, it has been many years since I've been in social media, and there's so many things I wish I had been more careful and intentional about in other places that I am going to do here. Now, I want to take a quick run through of how your profile looks and some things that work for me. And whereas BlueSky gives me far more control, it's a much cleaner, such a clean and refreshingly clean interface here. So let's talk about a couple of things real quick. One, if you are a Twitter follower and you still have your Twitter account, there is a great little free Google Chrome extension that allows you to sync up the followers you have on Twitter with whomever already may be on the BlueSky account. Now, I have subsequently deleted my Twitter account, so I can't do the demo of that, but I can show you the page and give you the quick tips because it was a little tricky to do it first. Okay, so we're going to go to the Chrome Web Store, and from there we're going to look up an app called Sky Follower Bridge. Sky Follower Bridge is, again, it's free. It lets you go to click this button here, this should be add to Chrome, and it adds an extension in Chrome. And so then I can go to the extension and open it up. Now, just a quick tip here, and it took me a minute to figure this out, you need to go to twitter.com and go to your followers page or following page, the people you're following. You have to be on that page, and then you can open up the BlueSky Follower Bridge and click a button, and it takes just a second. It's going to go look at your BlueSky account. It's going to look at your Twitter account. It's going to tell you if there are users with similar names or handles on those. It gives you a list, and you can either click follow all of them, or you can go and choose which ones to follow. It's a very painless process. It was very easy. Again, that thing, I just didn't read the instructions, was you have to go to your Twitter account, then click on the people you're following, and then run the Chrome extension, and it'll give you a connection. Like I said, I've subsequently deleted my Twitter account, so I can't go do the demo. I do wish I probably kept the account open a little bit more, because my guess is there's a lot more people coming from Twitter to BlueSky, and I could have run that same search again a month from now and probably found a lot more followers. But I found the core group I wanted to, people who are in AI, Notion experts, YouTubers, business tech, productivity, those type of things, were easy to find that way. So that's the first cool trick. The second thing is that you'll notice here my username is at MatthewRathbun.com, as opposed to the handle that I created, which was Matthew Rathbun, and then it gave me the .bluesky.app, whatever. You can use your own URL domain here very easily. So I wanted my website domain to be here, which is cleaner and easier to share. So you'll notice up here is my shareable URL, and it's bsky.app/profile/MatthewRathbun.com. Now, this does presume that you already have a URL, a top level domain or TLD that you already own that you want to use here. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine to use the default naming convention here. But let's just jump in to show you very quickly before we get into all the other settings and cool things, how you do that. And so I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to handle, wherever it is here, change handle. And if you notice the change handle, which you can change as frequently as you want, just understand that if somebody else claims the handle you want first, you can't use it. You can go down here to I have my own domain. And when you click on I have my own domain, it is going to give you the DNS settings to create and connect your URL with Bluehost. It's very simple. You'll notice here there are 3 settings. There is host, there is the TXT type, and then there is a specific value here that will be unique between each account that you're using. So what you'll do is then go into your cPanel account, and again, this is a slightly more advanced thing. I don't think it's necessary as much as just it gives you your unique brand if you want to. You're going to go into your cPanel domain for your domain, your website, click on add record. You're going to click over here and copy the underscore @pro domain name that we copied. The TTL stays the same. The type is text. And then the record is going to be that 3rd string of the record. And once you hit save record and then you save and exit, you come back over to BlueSky, you hit verify DNS, and literally within 20 seconds, I had my handle as my domain name. So that's a cool thing. That's the only real advanced thing I'm going to talk about in this tutorial. I really just did want to get that out of the way since I wanted to then be excited to show you all the rest of the things. So a couple things on your profile. You can upload a headshot. You can put a banner at the top here. Again, this is a picture of me in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia on a hike with my brother. I love the big blue sky and the contrast and blue sky. It just made sense. So I use this, but you can go to Canva and create headers for this. It could be more unique or more eye-catching. I just really like this one, so I used it. And then you can have your description here. It's actually fairly lengthy for you typing your description. I tried a couple of different things. And again, I just been used past week, and I found that simple was better. I looked at a lot of the big people who had following already, the influencers on here, and it just seems simple is better here for a nice little description. And then we can go there. So you'll do that by going to edit profile, and then you can see the little camera button here to upload the header and a camera button here to upload the headshot. The name does not have to be the same as your handle, and so you can put whatever you want here. And then there's a nice little description here that you have, and then we click save. So pretty simple, straightforward, like most social media platforms to edit your profile. And then over here, you can click here to share your profile, or to create lists, which we'll get to in just a second. And then you have a fairly typical for microblogging thread. So this is my stream of the stuff I've posted. Again, 25 posts. A lot of it was starter stuff to kind of give an example of who I am, some of the videos I created. It's resharing other people's good content, and just having a little bit of fun with it to get the feel for it. From there, you'll see replies. These are people who have responded to your post on there, or that you have responded to, who have liked your things or responded to the different content. The media are the things you've uploaded, the graphics, the photos, and the video. It's uploaded, we'll get to in a minute. Things that you've liked, the feeds that you're following, which I don't have any, and this very cool feature. So this is called starter packs. And starter packs are a way, I think you can allow up to 150 followers, a way for you to create or go follow a group of influencers or a group of people in a related topic. And so I have the real estate industry influencers here. And you can see I gave it a description because this is designed to be shared with others. And so I can create that by going and adding the thing. I'm going to adding the starter pack. I named it the real estate starter pack. I describe what it is. And then when I hit next, I can go and invite a bunch of people here who you should be following if you're just getting started. And so this gives you a list of everyone you're following, and then you can type in the name, like Brett here. I've already added him, so I just click the button, and you can add all the people you want and then hit next, and it creates the list that you're going to do, or a feed if you want to do that, which I didn't. And now I've created this list that I can share, and I can share this outside of BlueSky. So I did post it on Facebook. That actually led to some conversations and people wanted to follow. It's just kind of a starter or a helper for people to actually get a head start when they first join, because you don't know who to really follow or not. But it also allowed me to curate a list of people that I think others should follow, other influencers and voices that I'm already following here. You can go and edit it at any time. You can remove people or add people. And like I said, I think the max is 150 people, which is quite a lot actually there. And then your list. And so I've created, this is a list for me to go look at, but it is public if others wanted to follow it. I love the Notion app. That is a big reason why I'm on socials, to get good ideas and templates and things. That's something I've been passionate about for a couple of years now. Real estate thought leaders in the real estate industry, and also just AI influencers. And so I get to add people to these lists, and these are people that I find valuable. Now, obviously, I'm not going to add everybody who's an AI to this. I'm not going to add every real estate person, but the people that I think others would benefit from, or that I'm going to get good ideas from or good energy from, I'm going to put there. So there are times where I can just go look at that list, and that's be the only content that I see. And again, the level of control over what I do and don't see here is amazing. Now, when we get to our adding a post, so that's a little bit about under our profile. These are things that I can create and manage. And then I'm going to go to add a post. And if you've been on any microblogging platform before, this seems awfully familiar. Again, just cleaner and easier to use. And so I can say what's up, or I add what's up. I can tag people in this. Hashtags work like they do in all the platforms. The @ and then the person's name if you want to tag them in a post, which I think, again, very familiar here. I can add photos. I can add video. I can add GIFs, and I can add emojis here. And you can also change the language to Japanese, Portugal, or German, and others are on the list, but I stick with English because I barely speak that well. The one thing to remember is if you were uploading native video, in other words, you're putting video to be hosted on BlueSky from your account, it is the maximum of 1 minute currently. That's very short. I don't do short form videos quite as well as I wish, as you can tell here from this long form video. But I think it's a pretty cool little feature. If you do want to do short form video and you have a 1 minute video, TikTok or something, you can upload it here organically. Inherent to the platform. What I have found is that posting a link to a TikTok, to an Instagram video, to a YouTube video especially, it looks great. And I'm always a big fan of kind of segmenting my hosting accounts and not posting in a bunch of different places. So I'm posting a lot of YouTube stuff. It's copy paste. It's got a good preview. It plays in app. And mentioning of apps, just so you know, iPhone and iPad apps, perfect. They're beautiful. So they look great, whether it's the desktop or it's on the app here. So big fan of this quick, simple interface. And then I can just post. There is a maximum number of characters on there. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's pretty lengthy. So that's posting. Let's go to settings and talk about a few things there that are going to help. One of these, I like how easy it is to add a second account. I can imagine at some point my business or my brokerage might use this, and I will want to work with a team, so I can switch back and forth between my personal account and that. And again, on the iPhone or iPad app, it's even easier. There's a button at the bottom, quick switch, and you're there. So it makes it a lot easier to manage multiple accounts. Under accessibility, this is for if you have any special needs or accessibility needs here, larger text and all those things. I don't, or you can disable autoplay, which I think is a cool feature here. I don't always like seeing moving parts, especially if I'm, laying in bed at night trying to just look through the thing. And so I can turn off automatically those things. Right now I have that on because I like the GIFs and I like kind of, again, the organic feel of that. But I can see myself definitely turning it off at some point. The next one is just your general appearance. So I am using dark mode most of the time that I'm on my systems. So I stay in dark mode, but there is light and dark mode. But even the dark mode here just feels very nice and clean and attractive here, and not dark and gloomy like other platforms. It just felt like a dungeon in my eyes. I like the choices they've made here. And then you can have dim or dark themes. And then you can also go with your theme fonts or just with the default system and then what size they are. So appearance is very easy to set up. Again, you can choose your languages and then moderation. And this is probably my favorite part of this. So as I said, this is not necessarily a political statement. For those of you who wish to do that, you can certainly post all the politics you want, but I equally have a right to not have it forced in front of me or to really care what your political opinions are. And so muted words and tags allow you to go and do what should have been done and what used to be doable on other platforms and now seems to not work at all or only work part of the time. And this is even with more control. So I can go and say, I don't want to see certain words. So you notice I've put politics here, some key players in the politics. Of course, I don't want to see porn. I don't want to see, because I have no idea what that'll turn into one day. I don't know if that's going to be something that's prevalent on this system. It has seemingly taken over a lot of other micro blogging platforms and systems. I don't need that kind of crap in my life. And so for me, I've just put a lot of the things that are most commonly going to annoy me. And they are both political parties. So be clear, this is not saying I'm antagonistic to one or the other, but I can put it in there. And I can say, I just don't want this for the next 24 hours, 7 days, or 30 days. I can be text or tags only. And then I can exclude users I follow. So let's say I'm okay hearing some of these key things from the people I follow, but I don't want to hear it from just groups and lists. For me, I don't hear it at all. So even if it's somebody I follow and you want to pontificate on politics, you knock yourself out. I don't care. And also there's some curse words and things that I had there. I took it out for this demo because, nobody needs to see the F word 15 times and there are variations of it. So I've added some of those too, just to have a much more wholesome and enjoyable thread. Again, you can cuss your little heart's content on there. I'm certainly not somebody who considers himself to not indulge in cursing for once in a while. Just don't want to see it in my thread. Plus, I share a lot of stuff in classes and training, and I want to make sure I clean this up in case something's on the screen for there. So you can go through from your muted words to moderation lists, and these are people you have blocked. And again, you can make those public or not. And somebody you've muted, which is a shorter period of time. So maybe you're crazy uncle who just can't help himself by, talking trash during the month of elections. And you're just like, I want to listen to you, but not this month. You can temporarily mute them. I typically I block a lot of people. I know it's not the best behavior sometimes, but I really just tired of negative people. So I just block them. And I can mute accounts or things. And then I can block certain accounts here, and it would be a list of those who I blocked. I can enable adult content if I want to see it. I don't. So I'm going to remove that. And then I want to hide nudity if there are any there. And they use artistic nudes, which is still nudity. So you can put that in there. Under advanced, there's other services here. I don't use them or know them. And for some of them, they're for settings that are specific to other countries. I'm going to go into, I don't know anything about the advanced stuff, so I'm going to leave that out. And then logged out visibility discourages that from showing my account logged in users so people know I'm there. I don't care if they know I'm there or not, so I'm not going to use that. So again, I like the moderation very much. Following feed preferences, when you have follows, do you want to see all the replies? But again, this very detailed level of coverage of what I can and can't see is here. Sometimes you only want to see the main post and not the thread and not the responses. I actually do want to see those things, so I'm going to leave those on. And then your thread preferences, again, what order? This was such a big deal for me. Maybe it's not for everybody else, but I get really irritated on Facebook, for example, when I log in and I go see a comment, or want to go see a comment, and I got to sort through newest to see what's on the new because there's 1,000 other things going on. This by default lets you choose what order you want to see comments and responses in a thread. And I really just want to see the newest stuff first. And maybe the most liked replies, what you want to see first. I don't always agree with most liked things. I just want to see who's been chatting there lately. And then you can have what I call posters roulette, which is just random. It's whatever order they choose to be in. And then you want to prioritize your followers. Yes, if I see a thread, I would much rather see the people I follow and their comments and ideas first on it than everybody else's. And in threaded mode, is set to yes for me. And that is so you can see the comment and then the thread of posts that the poster made, original poster made after that. My saved feeds sometimes I do save feeds, and we'll get to that in a minute. Like I've certainly saved the Notion group, some tech groups, and some other book authors and things there. and then a chat setting. So there is direct message and chat built into BlueSky, and I think it's pretty cool. And we'll go. So a lot of people are missing where that is, and we're going to show you in just a minute where that is. And then where do I want new message to come from? Only the people I follow. I don't. That's well, and I may want everybody, especially if you're in business. You may anybody who wants to chat with you can. So far, it's not going to get out of hand. It seems to be such a different culture here. People who are looking for, again, like me, a positive environment. I'm okay with it, and I can change it later if I wish. External media preferences. Again, what links do you want to see or use, and who to get your data, basically to track. So there's a very specific here. I'm okay with YouTube tracking me. I give a lot of data to YouTube. It helps them create a better experience for me about my preferences. So I'm okay with them seeing it. I'm certainly okay with Apple seeing my activity because they can recommend music I like based on the personality and things I'm posting there. But by default, all this is off. Nothing's allowed to follow you unless you give it consent. So I think that's pretty cool. And while we're there, I'll just say, one of the big things that BlueSky is promising us is that our content is not being used for generative AI purposes, being collected. They're not going to be forcing ads in front of us, at least for the moment. And a couple other big promises they made that, again, that gives me a much better, useful experience. And again, that's the privacy settings, app passwords, and changing your handle. I went to that earlier with changing your handle. App passwords, my password is what my password is. Two-factor authentication, I have this turned on to yes. I do want to be asked to be sent a code to enter the code for any new device I'm logging into. That is, I think, it should be a requirement for every service you have in the day of so much cyber crime. And then you can change password and you can export your data. So one of the things, and again, this run through is for people who aren't super tech savvy. But I will say one of the promises of BlueSky that I think is really interesting is the portability and decentralization of your account. So in other words, if I build a following here, BlueSky is open source, which means they're giving their structure and protocol to other companies to use and emulate. So if another social media company comes up that I like better, I can package my following and my content here and deploy it on another system if the framework is there. So if you don't know what any of that means, you probably aren't as impressed with it as those of us who are interested in being able to package our followers and make them something I can follow on an extra different platform. It comes up in the future. I think we'll likely see a lot of that in the future. All right, so let's go to the home. Again, if you are familiar with any microblog platform, this is going to be obviously very familiar with you, but there is my following. I can say what's popular with my friends. These were all settings that I made in my lists or chose here by clicking the pound sign. And then there's some suggested feeds, and then you can search for other similar feeds. Again, BlueSky is really now, it's about a year old, maybe a little older. It's just now getting some momentum. So there's not a lot of unique feeds here. So I am just following a few. Popular with my friends, I want to see what the people I'm following, what they're liking and commenting on. I can go here. Housing and real estate, that's my primary gig. So I am interested about other housing related stuff. One thing I have found on this system is that some of these threads, like housing and real estate, because it's international, these are people pontificating on public policy. It doesn't mean it's just real estate agents. I'm cool with that too. It's a learning opportunity. And then I have, for me, the Notion team. Another user set this up. It is for other people who work with or on Notion products to post their great content and ideas and have conversations. So I like the segmentation for the most part. But the following is just all the people I follow. And this is a segmentation based on popular topics. So you can switch if you're just feeling very Notion-y that day and you want to know what Notion's all about or what they're doing with it. That may be the thread you go to and you can segment following. Now, it's not always going to be just your followers. It should be people using keywords and hashtags related to these topics, which is also a good way to find fellow followers and friends and people you can connect with there. So I'm a big fan of this simple layout. And then over here, you can also go directly to those feeds that you have created or subscribed to. There is a typical search function, so you can go search for users' account or information. There is your notification settings. I generally am keeping my notifications on the social media in the app because I don't like 4,000 red dots and bleepy things and all the rest of the stuff. So when I go to notifications, I will only go to the system and look. And then up here, you have the settings button, and it's not working right now. Under settings, you can fine tune this, but I can look here and see, and you'll get the little red number of notifications on the app or on the website. And I can see here who has actually followed me, who has, how long ago the last person followed. Click the down button and you can go to individually see each person. And then you can go to their account from there and decide to follow or not. And then you can see messages that were sent to you, people who liked your stuff. Fairly typical notification stream. The one thing I really like is this down caret that lets me go and choose those folks. So I'm going to go here to, let's see. I'm going to go over here to how. And then when you go pull up a user account, you can see their header graphic, you can see their headshot, their description, how many followers they have, how many people they're following. Again, typical stuff you see in microblogging platforms, URL for them in their description. You can also see who you both mutually are followed by, which I also like to see that. If somebody sends me a request, I do look and see who they're followed by. And then I can choose, obviously I'm going to follow him back. And then here, this little button, which is what a lot of people seem to miss, this is the button that lets us start chatting and having direct messages with one another. And in your direct chat, you can either from there, go to the profile, mute the conversation if they're going to keep talking, you just don't want them to. Temporarily, you can block them if they displease you somehow. You can report the conversations if it's appropriate, or you can just leave the conversation altogether, which again, I think are really good functions and feature here. And then you go over here on the ellipses, you can share their account with other people, easily add them to one of the lists you created, mute the account, block the account, or report the account there. None of which I would do to Hal. He's a great guy with really, really good content and definitely worth following. Okay, so that's notifications. Chat is the history of all the notifications and messages you have with people. And again, you can start new chat here and you can type on whomever you're looking for. And let's say I want to start with a conversation with Brett. I would just go there and do it that way. Again, feeds are feeds that other people have set up that you can go search for and follow. Lists are the lists that you've created. And then you have profile and settings. And that's it. It is fairly straightforward. As I said, this is not a tutorial on how to build a massive following here because I don't know that there's any hacks yet. It's fairly new. The algorithm seems very self-created, which is, I love that about this. And on most platforms, organic growth is the best, and you get organic growth the good old-fashioned way. You go follow people, you comment, you like, you share, you hashtag, and let's see who thinks you're popular and follows you along. And I would also, in my case, I did see a couple more followers by posting on Facebook, hey, I'm here, come follow. One thing, if you are on Twitter, one of the things, or X, one of the things we do know is if you share a link to a system like BlueSky or Threads, Twitter/X will actually mute it or move it out of the way. A lot of people are talking about that, so you can't cross-populate on those forums, as opposed to BlueSky that's like, hey, you can package this up and go somewhere else. So that's it. That's a quick rundown. I'm just having fun here. I don't know where it's going, but I know there's a lot of people interested in this platform. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you, that you appreciate some of the hacks, and hopefully you'll follow me. I'm at MatthewRathbun.com, and always eager to engage with, learn from, and share with new friends. Thanks for watching.